When you're an artist that struggles because they have so many different interests, it can really weigh you down. The analysis paralysis, the what projects did I start first? Is this project even going to be worth it? Is my time and effort going to create value or meaning enough for me to feel like the time I spent wasn't a waste of time? I struggled with all of those thoughts. I am someone who is highly sensitive. I consider myself highly sensitive. I'm a believer in Christ. I overanalyze a lot of things. And I want my work and my effort to mean something to more than just me, to people around me, because I feel I am supposed to help other people on their journeys as I'm being helped on mine. But the problem is when you place so much pressure on yourself, your art, your different creative endeavors, it blocks you from being able to step into what your calling might be, to explore, to allow the messy middle of the journey to unfold itself naturally. We have to release the pressure of our journeys to have this big end result in order for us to start the journey. Because when we're overthinking, we're not starting, we're just thinking, we're bed rotting, we're forcing ourselves into these paralyzed states that just perpetuates the cycle and makes everything worse. So, today I want to share my journey of going from an overthinking artist with many different interests to actually trying to do her best to create art in many different ways, in many different formats, and letting that evolve. Months ago, I decided to start another YouTube channel. I say another because I've had about, I would say at least 3 to 5 channels since 2021. And every one of those channels I've scrapped. A lot of those channels were surrounding my art, journaling, and just encouraging other people. But I always got to a point where I felt too cringe or there was some sort of fear. Yeah, imposter syndrome. And so I would either be too cringed out by my videos, feel afraid of someone in my real life finding my content, and I would scrap everything. These are also moments when I had really bad depression and just lost a lot of faith in the gifts that I was given, speaking, sharing my thoughts, being encouraging, etc., even being silly and funny at times. Back to the more present, I started a YouTube channel and I did know from the jump that I did want it to be surrounding art and creativity and helping people who were maybe in similar positions to me create art again and possibly share that with the world via YouTube. That journey was an interesting one. I realized that I really like making YouTube shorts because they were short, quick content, and I really enjoy editing. So it was a nice way to get back into editing videos without having the pressure of making a very long vlog that I wasn't really comfortable with in the beginning, anyways. Seeing the engagement on those shorts, that people were liking them, that people were seeing them, really helped encourage me to keep going. I'll also mention I started out with making videos about paint by numbers. So this was something that was happening alongside my content creation journey that was more personal and meaningful to me. I was showcasing my journey of getting back into art again, of getting back into painting again through the YouTube shorts and even the long form videos that I did start to post that were vlogs as well, art vlogs. I found it more challenging to edit the longer form vlogs because I got in my head a lot about pacing, making sure that the videos would be engaging enough for people to want to continue to watch a long form video. And I don't even think those vlogs were that long. And those are still on my channel, but I did struggle with that a lot. When it comes to vlogging, you want different angles and different, you want variety for people to actually want to stick around. But I do think I was overthinking it a bit, but I was also thinking about what I like to consume on YouTube, what I like to watch on YouTube. And unless it's a straight painting video where I'm placing it in the background, I do need some sort of visual effects that are engaging, or like engaging cuts and things like that, to keep me wanting to watch a longer form video. It's just, ADHD, but also in this day and age too, like our attention spans are shortening. So I just wanted to create valuable content, and that was a barrier to me for making longer vlogs. However, during this time, I finished this paint by number right here that I'm super proud of. I still downplay it because when people see it, they're like, oh, that's so pretty. And I'm like, well, it was just a paint by number. But I have to acknowledge the fact that this took me a while, and this was a promise that I made to myself to start trusting myself again, that I can make a goal that is a creative goal, and I can reach that goal bit by bit, increment by increment. This took, I think, over a span of about a month. I wasn't working on it every day. I think I was working on it like one to a couple of days a week, and it was tedious at points. But as I went through this process, I learned a lot about myself and how I like to create art, how I like to paint. Those tiny bitty details really weren't interesting to me. It didn't draw me in. It felt cumbersome. But the parts of the painting that had the blue sky, those bigger, using bigger brush marks and bright colors, that is what really drew me in. And I had a lot of joy in those moments with those bigger areas of color. So that was a cue to me. Another thing I learned is the types of brushes I like to use. This is I think you can call it a flathead brush. I feel like such an imposter in this moment because it's like, you should know exactly what this is. Filbert brushes are nicer too, but those are more like rounded at the top, I believe. But yeah, I believe this is called a flat head brush. There is something about this that is so nice because you can get in the corners and get really smooth edges with this, but then you can also cover large areas of on the canvas, and I really like this. So that was another cue to me. That process, I gained confidence. When I was able to complete that project, I was able to keep a promise to myself and realize I don't have to be so harsh on myself. Yes, there are things that I wanted to do that I haven't accomplished, but this is one step of my creative journey of getting back into art again that I accomplished. And I'm so grateful to God that I was able to accomplish that. That was a beautiful, beautiful thing. During that process, I realized I don't really know how to draw. In the beginning, I really wanted to dive right into painting beautiful things, even landscapes and things like this. But I realized I don't really know how to draw. I haven't sketched anything in a very long time, so I needed to get back into that. Even with that, I overthink it. I was trying to find all the YouTube videos on how to draw and this composition and that, shading and lighting and all of this highlights, and it really overwhelmed me. And I realized I just needed to draw what's in front of me, sketch what's in front of me, do my best, and keep going. Like the repetition is what was going to help me get better at it. Along the way, would looking at tutorials and how-tos be helpful? Of course. But in the beginning, I needed to just draw and see where I was starting. Where was my skill level? I thought it was complete trash. In some ways, it was. It's really hard to draw people. It's hard to draw things that are intricate. But I realized drawing plants, things that are more square, like a bench at the park or even a coffee mug. There are certain things that helped me realize I am not completely lost when it comes to drawing. And it's really just about training the eye. I think, not even I think, there's a misconception that all these great artists had all this talent from the jump, and they made beautiful paintings and artwork and illustrations right when they started out. Sure, they may have had some talent in the beginning, but they still worked at it. They practiced. There's repetition, there's consistency in building their art practice and their creative practice that goes with writing as well, making videos, speaking, all of that. There's an art to it, and that includes being consistent and sticking with it even when everything looks unpolished, imperfect. And that's why I actually believe in sharing the messy middle, the imperfect pieces, because it shows other people online that are pretty used to seeing perfect art and like those advanced techniques and those masters, and feel because they can't put a paper to pen and have it come out beautifully for their first illustration ever, or if they haven't illustrated in a long time, that they aren't ever going to get there, that they're never going to be good at it or have that vision of what they like to see in other art, that taste that they have developed artistically. That's why it's important, I think, to share imperfect art. I started a sketchbook practice. In this sketchbook here, it was a couple dollars from Michael's. I knew a small sketchbook would relieve the pressure of me trying to fill a larger sketchbook. If I just put one sketch on each of these pages, I am satisfied. Yeah, there's less pressure with that. If it's not perfect, I turn the page and I keep going. Or I stop for the day and say, hey, I got to sketch something. It doesn't look great or it looks decent. Good for us. Let's keep going. I also, along the way, was inspired to do collage work again. And I used this mixed media pad for those projects because I felt like it was a good size. And I have some ideas of how I can develop that and maybe monetize that at some point. That was fun too, to just get magazines from half price books, glue, scissors. I was kind of mixed media, so I would use brush pens for brush lettering, markers for other parts, paint and acrylic to put paint on the edges of whatever I was pasting on here. That was fun. Do these, collages look perfect? Of course not. They're imperfect. They're a little messy. They're a little wonky, a little eccentric, maybe weird. I don't know. But it was still a fun creative outlet for me because I remember in the past that I loved creating like mood board placemats, and I was really, really good at them back at that time. I had more materials and things. It was just fun to tap into that even for a moment and reignite that passion as well. Another thing I got back into, can you see the thread here? There's a lot of interests I have, and I'm really trying to find my style by using all the different materials that call out to me, I guess you could say. Watercolor, this has to be the hardest the hardest medium for me, because controlling watercolor in a way that it looks good, knowing the amount of water to use, how opaque you want it, how unopaque you want, transparency, lighting, shadow, it is so hard with watercolor, but it's still rewarding. But of all of the things that I have gotten back into creatively and artistically, watercolor has been the hardest or the most disappointing, I would say, but I will not give up. And watercolor is definitely an area where I think tutorials will be the most helpful to me, because I feel completely lost when it comes to making it look the way I want it to look. Let that be encouragement to you. Not every medium that you have an interest in is going to come easily to you or even have the same like level of barrier or mental block. And that's completely normal. We're multi-passionate, we're very sensitive, we're very attuned to our feelings, and even our environments can affect that too. So I hope that is encouragement to you to just keep going, keep going. With all of this, the past couple of months, I have built repetition, I've gained confidence in creating again, I've gained confidence in my creative voice, meaning, and intention, even though the art I've created hasn't been perfect. Back to creating and sharing all of this on YouTube, that has been a journey as well, and another one of my interests. I have gone from sit down videos to vlogs to shorts, and I'm still trying to find my balance with that and what is sustainable for me and what keeps me interested and feeling, fresh and new in this journey. I will say I love creating vlogs the most, but that does take the most creative energy. So it can be a barrier to making a vlog if I feel like I don't have the content that is going to make it the most engaging. I do like to talk, but I don't necessarily like to watch myself talk when I am rambling. But sit down videos like the one I'm doing now is an interest of mine too. I would love to hold like artist talks one day where I'm like actually on stage speaking to an audience. That would be so cool. So these videos kind of are practice for that in a way. For some reason, I feel way more comfortable speaking on camera than I do in front of people, but I still don't have as much like stage fright, I feel, as most introverts do, if that makes sense. I am someone that is introverted, but I have a bubbly personality. I do like talking to people. What a nice hat, or where'd you get your shoes from? I am someone that likes to have spontaneous conversations. It's just I deal with social anxiety as well, and so it can really hinder that part of my personality, which I think I will talk about in another video because that needs to be a topic of not putting all introverts in a box. Some of us are introverted. We need time alone to recharge, but that doesn't necessarily mean that we're shy or closed off, don't ever want to speak up. Like, we got to clear that because that's not everybody. Yes, there's social anxiety, but I think at my core, how God made me was to be outgoing and bubbly and interactive and engage with people around me, have conversations, deep intellectual conversations, silly conversations, etc. We're multifaceted. You don't have to be put in a box, but I am highly sensitive. So that is another aspect of all of this that is a strength when it comes to conversations. So I can feel when people are like disengaged or when they are engaged or when we're talking about something that's really important to them and to me, or the opposite when I feel like someone's judging me or whatever. And that, again, topic for another video. In this moment, I am feeling the need to pivot into a new creative project that feels bigger than me. And it is a bit scary because I have a vision of what I think that new creative endeavor project will be, but I am scared. I'm very scared. Despite the fear, I'm really excited on the inside, but I haven't been moving on it yet. I haven't started anything about that yet. And I need to break that down into actionable steps and just do it. And again, like I've been doing and telling myself and showing myself on this entire journey, what God has been showing me on this entire journey of getting back into art again, it's gonna have to start messy. It's not gonna be perfect at first, but you just have to keep trying and put in the reps. So I need to apply that to this new project that I'm excited for but scared of at the same time. I'm hoping that all of this encourages you to do the same because I know that I know that I know that I know I am not the only person that is going through this similar season or the same challenges that I have as an artist that has multiple interests. One day we will be able to like bring everything together. Our channels are going to be a hub, or whatever other platform that we have will be a hub of all of the things that we are passionate about as artists, right? But for now, we just have to start somewhere and keep going. That's what we have to do. And I'm here to root you on. Like, I can't wait to see you win. I can't wait to see myself win. We are winning right now by just trying and doing the thing. If you are struggling to start creating art again, just start. Everyone's process is going to look a little bit different, but in general, start with something that feels like you won't have to overthink it as much. And for me, that was paint by numbers. For me, that was also starting with speaking to the camera on YouTube because that comes natural to me, thankfully, and I'm grateful for that. That may be something different for you. Those beginning activities of creating again may be different, and it's just up to you to explore Take a look back into childhood, things that you love to do, things that you want to learn. What are your interests now? What types of art are you drawn to? What styles do you like? What elements of the art that you enjoy like hit those creative taste buds for you, and figure out a way to get into that and try it and learn along the way. Be open to not being an expert right away. I'm not an expert in any of the art forms that I love, but I love it anyways. Just listen to that. It's not always going to be easy. I would say along this journey, it wasn't easy for me to pick up the brush, pick up the pen, any of that. It wasn't easy. But once I got into it and could see what I could make and see some improvement, even if it wasn't grand, that really made a huge difference for me. And it's continuing to propel me forward into new creative endeavors, new heights, bigger dreams. And I can't wait to see that happen for you as well. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you're new here, my name is Brittany. I create encouraging art, style, creative content for multi-passionate people, creatives, and artists that identify as sensitive or have sensitive-like traits. I'm so happy you're here. Feel free, please, to like this video to let people know and the algorithm know that you like this type of content, to let me know that I am doing a good job. And subscribe if you look at the other videos on my channel and enjoy it, and don't click out. Yes. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you have a great week. I will see you in the next video, Lord willing. Bye.